This week we get updates on Dan's new cat, find out who almost flooded their house, spoiler it wasn't me, and we answer your Patreon questions. All this and more on this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Is this sweater weather yet? Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We are good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me at Gone to the Snow Dogs and Snow Dogs Vlogs.
Jess, you want a cat?
See, we call them kitty snacks around here.
Well, you know what? I have some kitty snacks to send you.
No, I don't want a cat, but what's really funny is after you've sent a few videos of those cats, Jamie actually said something the other day about, oh, it'd be kind of nice to have a cat, and I went, what?
Sold. Free shipping and handling. I'll put them in a bubble mailer.
I don't know how, so Memphis interacted with a cat once, and it almost didn't go well, and Kira hasn't really interacted with a cat up close, so I have no idea how it would go. But the only husky I ever had that liked cats was Shiloh. She actually liked cats. She would just lay down with... My sister had cats, and she watched Shiloh for me quite a few times. And Shiloh would just lay around with her cats like nothing. But Memphis and Kira, I don't think are going to be as kitty-friendly.
I'm thinking not. I'm thinking not. And maybe I'm not either today.
If you want another cat, they just found 2 in the ditch down the road from us.
No, don't tell me that.
They're alive. They're okay. They're babies. But there's 2 of them.
No more cats. No cats. No cats. So.
But they're babies. They need a home.
So this cat here, who has no name still, and all I've been getting is name comments on my posts lately on Instagram.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which not really the happiest with all the names. I tried calling him Mouse. Everybody wanted him to be called Mouse, but I didn't name him that. He has no name right now. He has no name. But he doesn't have any fleas anymore. The fleas are all gone. He seems back to like normal per se. Like he's not devouring food and chugging water and stuff.
Right.
He gets along with all the other cats pretty much just fine here and there. Rizzo hated them. I don't know. Last week's episode, I talked about how Rizzo just hid in the corner.
Right.
But Rizzo doesn't really mind him anymore. They're all kind of figuring each other out. And now the cat is in total kitten mode as far as, like, everything's the greatest and anything that wiggles. I can't even walk to the kitchen without him just being like, let's just, like, bite feet and let's just get in between your legs. And he won't stay out of the dang turtle tank. Everybody's like, put foil around the edge. Well, we put foil around the edge, and that keeps all the other cats out. Not this cat. No fear. He will jump and clear the foil and land in the turtle tank. The turtle is just like, what is going on? And, I mean, I spray him with the spritzer, and, like, no fear.
Yeah, he's got that kitten attitude.
Yeah, I feel like his battery pack doesn't last as long as a normal kitten before he's just sleeping again.
Right.
The cat will sleep on anything. It does not matter what's underneath him. He'll just lay and just sleep. If it's time for him to take a rest real quick, just halfway on the couch, spread across the gap, and then the other half of him's on the table. He doesn't really care at all. He doesn't really do tricks too much, but I've been trying to teach him to like sit up and do stuff like that, and he will every now and then. But yeah, at this point, every time I look, like if I look down the hall, he's there, and then as fast as I can look and like down the hall the other way to the bedroom, he's there as well. Like I don't know how he's getting around this house so fast.
It's like that song. I always feel like there's somebody watching.
Oh
me.
Yes, for sure. I posted that on a TikTok. I posted a couple of cat TikToks.
I saw a few of them that you posted.
Yeah, they're tick flops, but they're cute. They're cute. He wants to play with the other cats, but all the other cats are like, they're like lazy. Like I remember watching this show, and the new guy gets to the job, and he does everything so fast, and at the end of the day, I don't know, maybe it was The Simpsons or something. All the old guys come up to him and go like, "Hey man, you need to slow down. You're ruining it for everybody."
Right.
And I feel like that's the way it is with the cat here. Like he wants to play with all the other cats. And none of the cats wants to play with them. It's like, look, you just lay here, you hang out, you get your belly rubbed, you get 3 meals a day. That's it. So nobody's really taking to playing with them at all. I have not seen him running through the house because there's pairs in the house. So there's Mooch and then there's the kitty, and Mooch is very protective of the kitty, the sketchy cat that comes out every now and then.
Right.
And they play together, they run around. I think Rizzo and the kitten will play as well too. Kumiko and Kumiko and Mr. Tails are kind of just like free roaming. They just kind of do what they want. Tails really doesn't play with the cats too much. Tails just does his own thing. But nobody wants to pair up with this new cat. So I went out into public and I put up flyers. My flyers look better than everybody else's lost animal flyers. So if you lost a pet, you guys need to get your typography on better.
You need to hire Dan.
Yeah, you need to hire me because I'll post a picture of your cat licking itself, and which is on the flyers. And I put it on the flyers, and I spread it around, and nobody's claimed him. I mean, the cat I guess can stay. Really, I don't know. I was not. I'm supposed to be like dwindling down the cats, not getting new cats. But I don't know what to do. I called the vet yesterday just to try to get him in there, just to be like, hey, check him out. Is he okay? And maybe, you could just like fix him while he's here. But I don't know the rules. Like, would you be sad if like your cat ran away or whatever, and then you got it back and it was all fixed? It'd be like if your kid went away to summer camp and came back fixed. You're like, well, you don't really have a right to do that.
I'm actually, by law, I believe now that you've had him so many days, I think you do. And I think that's the way it works with animals. Like, once, like I know here we have, with dogs at least, we have to give them to animal control, and animal control has to hold them for, I believe it's 4 days. But at the end of 4 days, that's it. They're allowed to go up for adoption. So, like, if it's an animal you dropped off and you want it, animal control will hold it for 4 days, and then you can adopt it at the end of the 4 days. So I think, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way with cats. After a couple of days, you have to make an effort to find the owner, which you've done. And then after so many days, it just kind of becomes, it's your cat. Yeah. Jamie's voting for you to keep the cat, just so you know.
Everybody's voting for me to keep the cat, but me.
Yeah, but Jamie's normally the one that's like, no, blah, 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 blah. He's like, that's his cat. He should keep the cat. Tell him I said he should keep the cat.
The cat's super snuggly. The cat knows all the right things to do. The cat has not done anything to get him kicked out, other than him jumping in the turtle tank, which is fine, whatever. Like, he'll get over that part, but he's done all the good stuff. Like, he's a really good cat, and he'll come snuggle up to you when you want to, and he'll sleep at night. Like, he does all the stuff that you're supposed to do for a cat, but it's another cat, and it does make a difference. I see it. My tripping hazard level's gone up. Food's gone down. Yelling no has gone up. Getting the water spritzer and squirting's gone up. Right. So I don't know, but I did try to call the vet yesterday with no avail, but I'll try again today to see if they answer. But I got to get him in there just at least get checked out and stuff, and then I guess find him a name. And I don't know. It's hard to adopt him. There's been a couple people that wanted him, but they're like, well, I can't afford the food and the shot. Well, no, then you can't have a cat. Right. If you're gonna tell me that, you can't have the cat.
If you get him into the vet, too, I mean, he probably won't have a microchip, but he might. I mean, they might be able to scan, because if he was at a shelter, he might have a microchip, even though he's not fixed yet, because they might have microchipped him early. So maybe you'll get some kind of an answer from the vet's office. The other suggestion that I had, which I don't know if that works as well where you're at, but I know you put up the flyer. Did you call, like, the shelter and kind of give a description of him and see if anybody had called looking for a cat like that?
I didn't do that part. That part I could do. He's on every single cat message board in this Antelope Valley. Like every cat message board's got pictures of him. People are sharing it and stuff, and so far nothing. But I have not, so I can do that after we're done here. I can do that and just to file a kit report.
Yeah. So like, our shelters here, and even the vet's offices here, you can usually call and you can be like, hey, I found this cat, and you can give the description of it, and they'll, like, if somebody's missing an animal, they'll call and be like, hey, I'm missing an animal. If somebody comes in with this, a cat this color and is a boy and blah, 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 let me know. So, you might take the time today, a little bit of time, and call the shelters and kind of give them a list. I know our shelters actually keep a list of people who are missing animals. So if they have an animal that comes in, they can be like, oh, well, let's go down the list and see if we think we could match this animal with somebody.
Right.
So,
but your town is small.
Tiny. Yeah. Yeah.
Mine has almost 20 times the amount of people you have in your town. So
exactly.
We'll see. Last time I went over there, it's like, I don't know. They're understaffed and they look frantic all the time. But you know what? It's worth it. If I can find the right home, somebody could be missing their cat.
I mean, like you said, he's really friendly and he's really, like, people happy. So somebody had to have spent time with him.
Yes, definitely he came with skills. And it was cute because he was playing with some of the toys that nobody else wanted to play with. So we have this, like, it looks like an onion volcano from, like, when you go to, like, teppanyaki. It's like this orange device that's like a tower, and then there's balls that are inside that just spin around, and nobody plays with that thing. The thing just sits there, and he was playing with it. He was super stoked on it, so that made me a little happy.
Right.
But he really wants outside right now. He really wants to go outside, and I'm afraid just to, like, let him out because I think he's just gonna run. But what if he's like Lassie and he, like, takes me over to, like, his where he lives?
Yeah, what if he goes back home? What if somebody's just waiting for him to show back up?
Yeah, but I have him held hostage in my house.
Yeah, I mean, could be.
I don't know. He loves me pretty good. Like, he comes and snuggles up on me. If I'm sitting down, he'll come and sit on my shoulder, just wrap around me.
Right. He might have just did a pit stop at your house to get some food and water and snuggles, and now he's like, I'm ready to be on my way.
Yeah, he can't. He needed more than that. He was in some bad shape.
I know. He was.
So I don't know.
Was.
I guess I'm just gonna have to keep you guys posted on what happens with the cat. I'm not just gonna put it outside. So we'll have to see. Especially now this week. I showed you this the other day. This week, it's triple digits all week, between 103 and 107 all week long. I second guessed my swamp cooler. I'm like, are you working right? Are you working right? And then I checked the temperature, and it's 103 out, and I'm like, oh, okay. But we're into, like, our worst, like, heat part of the year right now. So I can't just put this cat outside because it is hot here. Is it hot there?
I don't know. It's not. I mean, it's beautiful in my house, but it was humid last week, or what was it, just a couple days ago? It was like in the 90s. We had the heat index of 97, and then it rained and the humidity broke, and now it's back down to 45, 50% humidity. I think today it's supposed to be 78. We're pretty much back down into the 80s, which is pretty normal. So, like, this morning I woke up and it was 58 degrees outside. I took the dogs for a walk. By the time I got home, it was already a little bit warmer. By midday, it might be 80, and then the temperature is just going to drop again, and it'll go back down to, like, 60 tonight. So it's perfect because it gets hot for the very middle of the day, but it's not like it's warm enough to where if I want to go down to the lake or if I want to go swimming, it's perfect. But it's not like I'm not ready to, like, kill people.
Here right now it's 83 out, and it's 8:30 in the morning, so it's 83 out. Within the next hour, it'll be up another 10 degrees. Our high today is 104.
Yeah, see, it's almost, what is it, 11:30 here, and it's only 71.
Wow, yeah. No.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, and it's breezy out there today, so it's just a little bit windy, but not super windy. So as soon as you go outside and the breeze hits you, you can feel the cool breeze coming off the lake. So it's gorgeous. Like, it's just, I don't know. I like northern Michigan.
Yeah, we do have a big, because for a while there we had kind of almost the same temperature.
Yeah, for like, what, 3 days?
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's like, hi, you're right up there with me, and then that's it. But I blasted off in the desert. It
doesn't last. Like, we probably, throughout the entire summer, will get maybe 10 days where it's above 90, or 10 to 14 days where it's like that ridiculous hot. But the thing is it's not day after day after day after day. It's like 1 or 2 days, and then the temperature breaks. And then it kind of does this thing where it goes back down, and then it slowly starts to rise, and then we'll have 1 or 2 days of really hot temperature, and then it'll rain and the temperature breaks. So we get pretty lucky up here in northern Michigan. Downstate, it's hot, but up here, not so bad.
Yeah, you're lucky. I got a feeling that today by like 2 in the afternoon, I'll just melt on the couch for a bunch of hours. Yeah, that's why I've been staying up so dang late. It's so nice at nighttime to be able to get your stuff done when you feel like you're alive, and then you just feel like you're gonna fall asleep on the couch all day long. But
right, I still don't know how you guys survive out there without an air conditioner.
I don't know either. I don't know. Like, I think about it every year, and I'm like going, well, next year I think we're gonna have to do something about it. But then I think enough time goes by that I kind of slightly forget how miserable it is. Oh, I know why. Because I'm at work every day. I'm usually at the bike shop where it's temperature controlled and nice and cool, and nobody's here during the day, so it's not as bad. But since I've been, on lockdown here, losing my mind, literally, I'm just here in the heat.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing the heat. So that's why it's bugging me this year more than any year, and I talk about it all the time on the podcast, is because I'm not at the temperature controlled bike shop every day. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it makes a difference. That was, we've been working from home for a couple of years, and we always had those window units, but they're so loud. So for us, it was like last year was finally, that was it. I'm like, nope, we're putting in an air conditioning system, and I finally found the one that I knew would work, and it's running right now, and you can't even hear it.
No, it was silent during Dantex, and it was right above my head. I love that. Yes, so you know the feeling then. So eventually at night it'll get cool enough that I can turn off the swamp cooler, and it's like you were at that. You don't realize it till you turn it off, and you're like, oh my gosh, peace and quiet. You sound like you're at an airport all day long.
Yep.
All day long, and sometimes you just turn it off just so you can have just silence for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So I'm gonna melt like Frosty this week. So wish me luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Yes. How's the room painting coming along?
So I got all of the trim done finally yesterday.
Oh, good.
It has been. I don't know why it has been. Well, I mean, it was difficult for me to do because it was so humid when I started. Which you're not supposed to paint when it's humid because it takes longer for the paint to dry. Plus, I'm standing up on a ladder and I'm painting towards the ceiling and it's hotter towards the ceiling. So I was cranking the air conditioning in there. But it's coming along. I think I should have it done hopefully by the end of this week. I don't know because I have 2 birthday parties I have to plan for this weekend. So.
Oh, that's right. Well, I like the trim on your house. I like how your walls have that curve to it.
The cove, it's such a pain in the butt to paint, though.
Is it?
Like, it's such a pain in the butt. Yeah, because, like, I could have just painted the cove and not painted the walls in that room. But when I started to do it, as soon as I touched the paint to the bottom of that cove, I'm like, nope, I got to paint the walls because I can't get this edge right if I don't do this. And blue painter's tape and I just don't get along. There's no point in wasting all that time putting the blue painter's tape on when I can just paint a straight line edge after and literally do it in just as much time.
I always accidentally touch the roof with the other color.
Oh, yeah, I do that too, but I just keep a wet washcloth and I wipe the paint off whenever I touch the ceiling.
It's like a bad game of Operation where you're so close, and then bang!
Yep.
You're like, darn.
Yeah, but you can get it off if you wipe it off right away.
Yeah, but I have stupid popcorn ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. We have that out here. So, I don't know what it's for. It looks like the moon. Like I said, when I was a kid, I'd lay in bed and I'd have to close my eyes tight because I was afraid a piece of it would fall into my eye for some reason.
Oh my gosh.
So irrational. So irrational.
But no, it's coming along. I think today I'll at least get all of the blue gray, whatever color that is, edged in, and then depending on how much I get done before we live stream tonight, I might roller it, or I might roller it after the live stream. I've only got to put one coat on it because that room doesn't need, quote unquote, need to be painted, but when we painted it, we only put one coat of paint on it because we used this Bear Marquee paint, which was supposed to be one coat coverage, and it did, but there's quite a few spots where now I can tell, oh, well, we missed a little bit here, or like you can see a little bit through, so I'm like, I'll just do one quick overcoat and be done with it. So that's the plan. It's coming along, and then I guess I'm moving everything that I put in here into there, and then turning this back into a spare bedroom because I'm indecisive.
Well, you've been at it a while because I haven't been talking to you much this week, and every time I do, you're out there painting. Painting or puppy sitting.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it's been lately, and I don't think I have to puppy sit anymore this week.
No?
What's today? Wednesday? No, because I think because Friday, maybe Friday. I don't know. I hope not because I got a lot to do on Friday. We have to do 2 birthday parties this week because Jamie's birthday is Saturday and my mom's birthday is Sunday. But we're going to do a birthday party Friday night during game night, and then we're going to do a birthday party Saturday for my mom and Jamie together.
All at your house?
All at my house. We were going to have everybody just come over Friday night, but it's kind of chaotic when it's game night, and like we really enjoy our game night. So I was like, well, what if we just do regular game night, but we'll make tacos and we'll have cake and ice cream? And Jamie's like, yeah, let's just do that. So we invited like all of our friends over, and then Saturday we'll do, because my mom, like I said, my mom's birthday is the day after Jamie's birthday. Saturday everybody's gonna come over here, but like my aunt and her boyfriend and my brother and his wife and the kids will come over. So it'll be, I think, a little bit less chaotic than trying to have everybody come over on Friday night.
Oh yeah.
So, plus, like, my brother and his wife will be here, and if the babies are crazy, they can always walk back home because it's not far, and that way my mom and dad can bring Indy, so it'll be chaotic Friday and Saturday, but it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It's funny how like you're like, oh, I'm gonna have this big old party. It's the same people that come over every weekend.
It's still a party though. It's different.
Right. Can you even have a party? Your basement.
Oh no, I'm sorry. We're not having a party. We're having a protest. So come on over and argue about whatever you want to argue about.
Oh yeah, is that what you're calling it? A protest?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Somebody posted a joke the other day that, and I don't know if it was true. I didn't look it up, but it made me laugh. It said something about in Michigan gatherings of 10 or you can't have any gatherings of 10 or more, and protests of 100 or more. Yeah, you can't have protest. You have to have protests of 100 or less, or gatherings of 10 or less. And I'm like, so if we have more than 10 people, that makes it a protest?
Oh, I see where you're going with it. So you're going to have a protest. Everybody come over for the protest. Okay.
Everybody come over for the protest.
Gotcha.
And I didn't look it up. I don't know if it was true, but I will say in all this COVID craziness, that made me laugh. Well, I'm like, that's funny. Because the guy put up like this, I should try to find it, but the guy put up this big thing and he's like, y'all come over to my house for the protest.
Well, you were having flooding though down in the basement.
We were, sort of. That vlog goes up today at 2:00 if anybody wants to see it.
It was weird because last week I had water issues and you had fire issues in your town.
Yep.
And then a few days go by and I have fire issues up the street for me, and then you have water issues in your town.
I know, what the heck?
How does that work? Because you have this like manhole cover outside the basement before the steps go up, and apparently that leads down to a bucket with some holes in it or something.
Kind of. I don't know what Jamie called it. I don't know what exactly it's called. So we have it's not a walkout basement, but we have a set of steps that goes down into our basement from the backyard. And at the bottom of the landing of those steps, which is all cement, there's like a big basin, which would be equivalent to if you pretty much took a 5-gallon bucket and stuck it in the ground. Mm. But it's basically a drain that just drains into the ground. But you could fill it up with 5 gallons of water before it starts to overfill, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, like, as the water goes into it, it just seeps out into the ground, because it's just for rainwater. So, we don't know if it got plugged with, like, leaves, because we do have to clean it out. Like, every year when the leaves fall, the leaves all get blown down into that stupid little hole, and Jamie has to go down there and clean leaves out, because otherwise that basin gets full of leaves, and then the water doesn't drain.
Is it deep?
It's pretty deep, yeah. I mean, it's at least a 5-gallon bucket. You could step down in it, and it would probably go up to about your knee, or maybe a little bit above.
So you can reach in there and unclog it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can reach down in there and you can unclog it, and you just, make sure that there's not a bunch of debris at the bottom of it. So, and Jamie did that this spring. He cleaned all the bottom of that down there, and he tries to clean it out, at least once a week from any other stuff, because we go in and out that door with the dogs every game night. We use that door. Mm-hmm. So he always tries to keep that landing area clean and stuff. Well, a couple nights ago, it rained. And it started raining, like, early in the day. And it would rain for, like, 15 or 20 minutes, and then it would just quit, and the sky would look clear. And then the tornado sirens went off. Or it's not the tornado sirens. The severe weather alert sirens, whatever they call them now, went off. So we knew there was a big storm coming. So we started watching, and we're like, okay, cool, there's a big storm coming, blah, 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 blah. We weren't getting anything. And then all of a sudden, it was, 8:30 at night or so. It started raining, and then it started raining so hard on the camera downstairs, you couldn't even see the backyard. Like, it was so much rain so fast that you couldn't see anything. We got, I think they measured almost 4 inches of rain within a couple of hours, which is a lot. That's a lot of rain. I mean, you take 4 inches of rain, you take a little bucket and put 4 inches of water in it. That's how much rain came down all at one time.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so we don't live in the desert. Our ground isn't really hard. The ground usually absorbs a lot of that water, but when you get that much rain all at once, it still takes a while for the ground to suck down the water. So you end up with a lot of standing water. So anyway, it rained really hard. That bucket started to fill up. And Jamie comes upstairs and he's like, grab your camera. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know what he's going to have me, film. So we went down there.
Last time it was birds stuck in a hole at 2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, here's the camera. What are we doing today? So we go down there, and sure enough, he opens up that door, and there's a couple, there's maybe a couple inches before it's going to come into the basement. But he's like, if I wouldn't have paid attention to this is all going to come in the basement. So we're standing there, and we're talking about it. We're filming it. And there's like lightning going off in the background. And then all of a sudden it kind of stopped raining. And Jamie's like, I'm going to grab the pump. So he went and grabbed our recirculation pump that we have for the pool. And he threw it down in that hole. And we drained the water out of the hole to the very back of the backyard.
Oh, so nice.
That it didn't all come in the basement.
Right. Yeah. Good. Because it was like, there's not really much after that top of that hole into the basement. There's no like really big, huge like ledge or anything. It was just going to come right in your house.
Yeah, it would have come right into the basement. We had that happen one time when Jamie drained the pool and the hose came disconnected from where he was draining it, and the water started to drain into the yard instead of way out to the back of the yard, and it drained too fast, and it actually did come into the basement because it went down those steps. This was before we had the floor in the basement, though. We had a different pool. We just had a smaller pool. But it did come into the basement before we had the flooring in there. And thankfully he was out there and, we were able to fix it before it really soaked everything. But yeah, it was kind of chaotic. Like, my first thought was, well, why don't we just go grab a bucket and start emptying this thing? And he's like, no, we got this pump. We'll just pump the water out to the back of the yard. And I went, oh yeah, let's do that.
Sounds easy, but it looked a little bit more scary when you were sending me pics and videos. It looked like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna flood, and because I can't figure out these basement things still.
All right, whether you love it or hate it.
Yeah, I used to love it, and I love your basement, and then now I'm like, most people's basements, it kind of suck.
You really, they're underground. So if your house is old, you really got to make sure that everything was done right. Otherwise, there's always a chance, even if you've never had water in your basement, there's always a chance you'll get water in your basement. Always. The risk is always there. Because you don't know if, you can't see the outside foundation where your basement is. So if you get a crack in the wall because of the pressure or frost line, you can get cracks in the floor because of frost and pressure, and then the water's it's called hydrostatic pressure. The water will actually come up through the floor. So there's a lot of issues that can happen in basements, but a lot of people will install like sump pumps, which will just pump the water away from your foundation. You can get all different kinds of things to make basements safer. You can dry lock them. You can when you build a house, there's all these things you can do to make it safer. But with older basements, a lot of people didn't care. So, yeah, we lived in our one house for years and never had water in the basement. And then all of a sudden, there was a crack in the basement floor and water seeped up through it. And we went, not this house, in our other house. And we're like, well, what the heck is this? What's this going on? And it was just the water table rose so much that it created hydrostatic pressure. And it wasn't much water, but we had water in our basement.
What happens in the basement if, like, I'm in your basement and I just drill a hole, like a huge hole to the other side? Is it just dirt packed in there, or is there another layer or something?
No, it's just dirt.
Okay.
Well, depending on when the house is built. Some houses will also have, like, foam around it, or they'll have, like what's it called, visqueen. They'll have, like, plastic out there to also help protect it. So it really depends on when the house is built.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, just most of the people that I see, they have basements that have, like, you can see where there's been water dried out from it flooding.
Yeah.
I would be sad. I'd be sad if I had my basement all set up nice, and then it just, started oozing.
Yeah, it happens. It definitely,
Just another odd thing that, like, I don't see happen out here.
Right. It's very common here, and the crazy thing is most of the time your insurance won't cover a flooded basement.
No.
It has to be like a faulty sump pump, or it has to be like if something if your washing machine were to disconnect and become faulty and overflow, that would be covered. But a lot of times insurance companies up here do not cover flooded basements unless you have flood insurance. So you have to pay for a different insurance to actually have your basement be protected.
Okay. From what I know out here, I mean, obviously we don't have basements, but from what I can kind of tell out here, our flood insurance is only from above. Like, the rain has to come from above. You can't have flood insurance from a pipe breaking in your house, or you don't get flood insurance from, like, stuff like that. Well, then again, they replaced our whole stuff.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not flood insurance.
No, that was homeowner insurance. But I do believe we had a pipe at our old house leak once, and we tried to go for the flood insurance, and they told us that is only from above. It doesn't come from any of the water that's in the ground or any of the waters that are breaking the pipe. It has to we have to rain.
Right.
To have it flood, which it doesn't ever rain out here, so it's kind of almost useless to have flood insurance out here. Earthquake insurance, that might be a little bit of a different thing out here. But,
right.
Than it is for you guys out there. I don't know. Can you get earthquake insurance out there?
I don't know.
For no reason?
I'm sure we could. There's fault lines that, run through Michigan or close to Michigan. There's been earthquakes that have been recorded here, but I'm sure you can. I just don't think most people do.
One of these days you have to feel one somehow. Oh my gosh, somehow. I'm going to have to find out when the next earthquake is, and you're going to have to come out for it.
Schedule it.
Right. I'll trade you. You can have the earthquakes, and no, I don't want your sirens. I don't. If I'm out there and the sirens go off, I might stop, drop, and roll for a minute. Just try to figure out what's going on.
We definitely experience a lot more weather than you do.
Yes. A lot more weather in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to get for the next week, and it's going to be pretty accurate and hot. Whereas, you're just there, then all of a sudden you're like, look at the windows are foggy from it being all rainy and gross, and then 5 minutes later it's gone again. Well, when I was out there, it did that.
Yeah. Yep. That's why when it says it's going to rain, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, it's going to rain. Well, it might only rain for 15 minutes, and then it's over.
Yeah. That's kind of cool though. I look out today and there's not a cloud in the sky, and I'm not going to see a cloud today. It's going to just stay the way it is. I don't know. Right. I would like to change in weather a little bit here and there, because I'm not really, I'm not outside all the time anyway.
Right.
I'm at my desk here most of the week. So to look outside and to see when it does rain or when it does have bad weather, I don't know. I don't want to call it bad weather, but other weather, I enjoy it. So I don't know. It gives you something to do and talk about.
It's a change of scenery.
Yes. So Jess, let's get on to some topics. I have a couple topics to talk about here.
Okay.
Post Malone wants to start a professional beer pong league. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
Post Malone, who's still on top of the world from what I can tell right now, wants to start a world beer pong league. It's his dream, he says.
Wow.
It's his dream. I don't know. I've never really played beer pong. Maybe one time I played beer pong. Were you ever a beer pong player?
No.
They didn't really have it when we were younger in that age, did they?
I don't know. I just don't think it was ever a thing we did.
I think when I would hang out with Jason a little bit, Crystal's younger brother, which, he's not that much younger. I went to a party and we were playing beer pong there, and they weren't drinking beer out of the cups that you throw the ball in. They were taking sips of their beer, and there was water in the cups. So I think by then that they've dialed in the rules to beer pong.
Right.
But people don't play with their beer pong. I've seen so many licensed beer pong sets, and you can get special cups and balls and tables.
Huh.
You get tables where you see those videos on Fail Army where that dude is too drunk and he dives onto the table to smash the table down.
Oh jeez.
I know, right? So Post Malone's putting all his money into great efforts, and he's doing it via beer pong tournament. So I thought that was an interesting thing.
Why the heck not?
If anybody could do it, he could do it. They have professional arm wrestling league. I watched the professional arm wrestling league.
They have cornhole tournaments.
Yeah, that's true. They have tag tournaments.
Yeah. If it's something that enough people enjoy, why the heck not?
So why not? Right, you're right. So I don't know. There wasn't really much to talk about this. I just thought it was funny that Post Malone and all his internet fame right now and him being on top of the world wants to start a beer pong league, and it looks like it's about to happen. If you have enough money or if you just have a face to put behind it, you can. Right?
And I guess if anybody was going to do it, it might as well be him.
Right. Did you see his Doritos commercial where it was Post Malone? Yes, I thought that was great. I love a good pun. I was like, oh my gosh, a Post Lamone. And that jacket was so rad. It said Post Lamone on it. I would have done it just for the jacket. He probably got paid so much for that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he did.
Totally. So, something that we haven't had done in a while. We have some Patreon questions this week. I asked for some Patreon questions.
Ooh.
And we did actually get some Patreon questions this week. Shout out to all the people that subscribe to our Patreon. Actually, I have everybody's name up here, so let's give them shout outs real quick. Shout out to Sharon and Katie and Ashton and Di and Nicholas and Linda and Steve and Traveling Sheep. Because it Sheep's Travel. Thank you guys so much for the support every month. I appreciate it. I asked a question this week of hey, Give us something good to talk about. And we got 2 good questions. We got one from Di.
Okay.
She said, "Oh, it's hard to find anything good. Is Kraken a good name for a hockey team? In case you guys have care or anything, Seattle has a new hockey team.
I heard
it's called the Seattle Kraken, and I was so excited because I thought their colors were going to be black and neon green. And I was like, this is rad. Instead, it's kind of like a bluish. It's kind of like a bluish logo. You know, it looks kind of like the Seattle Mariners logo a little bit. And
right.
I'm excited for them to get their own hockey team. I think that's fun and good times. And if you live in that area, you should definitely try to get tickets to go, even though it's going to be super sold out for the first couple of years, just like how Vegas is. I think Vegas is still selling out every one of their games.
Really?
Yeah, do you remember back in the day, Vegas wasn't allowed to have professional teams because of the gambling thing.
Yep.
And now they have the Vegas Golden Knights, and they're about to have the Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are there.
Wow.
I drove by on the way to Vegas last time and saw that arena, and it was amazing. So, I think that the Kraken's, I think that's a rad name. I'm glad people are trying to be unique with the names and not just calling them boring things after, animals or pets or anything. Well, I don't know if a Kraken's an animal, but... I think that's cool. I think that's cool that they're actually picking a decent name, and it's not just the Seattle Space Needles or something like that.
The Seattle Space Needles.
Yeah. So yes. So that part of the question, yes, I am really, really happy for that. I did see somebody already has the hugest forearm tattoo of the Seattle Kraken logo already.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I do like the name. I think the name is definitely I don't know. It just totally sounds cool to me.
And I cannot wait to see what their mascot is.
Yeah.
Because the Kraken's more kind of like Cthulhu-ish.
Looking
here. So I can't wait to see that. So no, I'm super excited to see what happens from that. There is a void up there, and it's going to be filled by a pro hockey team, and I think it's going to do very well, better than the. When I say well, I think it's going to be received very well, better than the Phoenix Coyotes, because who wants to go to Arizona to watch hockey, right?
Yeah, right.
So the next part of Di's question is also, do you love or hate the new cardboard cutouts of the fans in the stadiums? She means baseball. And I know we're not much sports, I'll watch hockey and stuff, and I'll turn on the World Series just to see what's going on, the Super Bowl to see what's going on. But yes, I am fully aware of what's going on in baseball. And have you seen any of the pictures at all of the stands?
I have not. I don't turn on the TV very often.
Right. So let me paint you a picture real quick. So the first 5 or 6 rows of the stadium, just enough for how they have that camera pitching the ball from behind, you can see them pitching the ball. They're all full of cardboard cutouts, right? And I don't know how they came up with these cardboard cutouts. I don't know if there was a lottery or a price you could pay to get your cardboard cutout of you or something like that. But there's a bunch of cardboard cutouts in there just to kind of make it look a little bit more filled out, right? And it's weird because if you just kind of don't pay attention, you don't really notice it. But when you stare at it, you're like, oh my gosh, those are just cardboard cutouts. And they're not just there. They're around the whole stadium. They're all in the outfield and stuff like that. And I think they're hilarious. I think it's so hilarious because nobody knows what really to do during this pandemic. Nobody knows how to make it feel normal. I was watching hockey yesterday. It was the first time for hockey. And they have all the seats covered with this stretchy stuff and logos on it, and all these big screens are right around the lower deck area that you wouldn't see, and there was nobody in the stands. It kind of bothered me for a little bit, but then afterwards you start watching hockey. What got weird is there was ambient crowd noise, but there was never really any cheering or booing or anything.
Oh, they haven't perfected that.
No.
Somebody needs to be on that. Somebody's job needs to be to do that.
But it's subjective. As I was thinking too, you have a cheer and a boo button, or you have a crowd getting louder button. When do you make that go louder or not? But I did notice that it had ambient music or ambient crowd sounds, which was a little odd because it's the playoffs, and for hockey, hockey started at the playoffs, so it's home court advantage and cheering and booing, and I realized that the audience participation is just as important as the game that was going on. So it was a little bit odd. It felt like when I watched the Olympics, because in the stands of the Olympics, it's full of everybody. So there's not really collective cheering or anything like that. So it was a little odd. So back to the baseball thing, I don't know what was on or what video I saw, but the guy hits a home run, right? And it just blasts through the cardboard cutout guy's head. I loved it. I was so happy. It just boom, the dude's head just explodes. I thought it was great. So I am having, even though I don't watch the baseball, I am having a lot of fun seeing that. There's like the Philadelphia Phillies like mascot. He's like that Philly guy, and he's the famous mascot. And you see him behind home plate, and he's dancing around and stuff like that. I don't know if you know what he looks like. He was, he had like a pie, because you know how like sometimes people get the pies in the face when they have that skit, and he's going around and he's trying to do the skits with the cardboard cutouts. And it's so good. It is so distracting. It is so good. He threw the pie in the guy's face. It was a cardboard cutout, and he was trying to get the crowd to do the wave, and it's just the cardboard cutouts. So I thought it was great. I think that they're really trying to make light of it, even though there's really nothing much they can do about it.
Right.
And one other thing too, I did see the clip of how in baseball the manager go out there and they'll yell and scream at the umpires and they yell at each other. So he goes out there to argue, but in order to argue, the rules are you have to put your mask on. So it's funny because he's walking out there and he's digging in his pocket for his mask, trying to find his mask so he can go argue. And sure enough, he finds it and he puts it on. He goes out there and I guess they were arguing. I don't know. It looks like when you watch the Deadpool movie where you can't see his mouth moving too much, but you can see his eye expression. But I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny that he had to put his mask on to go out there and argue.
And then really, like, is he really mad or is he smiling as he's talking to you?
I don't know. I never know if they're just killing time or what's going on, if they're asking what they're doing after the game. I don't know. But I thought, to answer Di's question, I think it's totally insanely silly and I kind of love it. Even though, like, I don't really watch the baseball, I kind of love what they're doing with that. It was funny.
Right.
They had me at when the dude hit the home run and it blew the guy's head off. So thanks, Di, for the question. That was a lot of fun. So Traveling Sheep 42 also has a question for us.
Okay.
We often hear of the fun experiences and wonders of the city mouse when visiting the country mouse. Is there any experiences or skills that Dan has that Jess would like to have? Oh, see, I'm not letting this question go by because that is a good question because we do always. It's kind of a one-way street because it's not like you don't come out here, and it's not like I want you to come out here. Like, there's really nothing out here. You know, we could go to the city or whatever, but.
Well, I mean, we would come out for like VidCon and VidSummit,
right?
PetCon,
but you're not coming out to my house. I mean, even when you came,
right.
you've been in my town. You've been 10 minutes away from my house, and there was no desire to go to my house. It's not like out. It's not like out there. You have a small little town, so everything's like check this out and check that out. And here it's a big open area of flat fields, and there's really not. You can see from one end of the town to the other. There's really not too much more unique stuff than at your town anyway.
Right.
So that's why it is more one way than the other, I think.
Right. Yeah. There's more to do here.
There's way more to do.
You know, that's like the reality of it. Like out there, yeah, we can go to Disneyland, we can do that type of stuff, but there's definitely more to do here.
And even that's not even in my town. Like, you know, Disneyland still,
right.
Right now there's no traffic. I was in LA the other day. You could make it down to Disneyland and from here in about an hour and a half, which usually takes you a little over 2 hours to get to Disneyland. You could make it here super quick right now. There's just like the traffic's so light right now.
That's so crazy.
I know. So that's why you always see the experiences of the city mouse visiting the country mouse.
Right.
But as far as any experiences out here, I don't know. I'm talking for you, Jess, but like I don't know. I feel like you do everything that I do there.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff out there that I want to do, but it's stuff I've never really seen you do. Like, I still want to go to the Sequoia National Park because we didn't do that when we were out there. I would love to go back to Northern California because it was absolutely gorgeous. I would love to go back to the Redwoods and spend like a couple of days up there driving around on those roads. And like, there's things I want to do, but it's stuff I never see you do. So I guess it wouldn't be an experience that you have.
No, because all the stuff that you talk about you want to do is more of your experiences. Like you have all the places in the world to go camping and hiking and see waterfalls at your area, but you want to come all the way out here just to experience the same thing.
But it's not the same. I don't have redwoods and giant sequoias here.
It's just tall trees. Like, it's tall trees.
To you.
So I don't know. It's not like you're going to come out here and, like, I don't know, go to concerts or go to Hollywood, you know. Or...
No, I don't have the desire to do that type of thing.
No, and that's all Southern California things. All the stuff that you're talking about is more Northern California stuff.
Right, which is the part of California I like. Because even, like, I mean, you saw how freaked out we were. And I don't mean freaked out in a, like, oh my God, I'm scared. Like, when we were in LA, out of my element.
It's concrete. Too much concrete.
Yeah, I am not a concrete jungle person. I have dogs that need grass, and I don't like people that are just, I don't know, pushy and mean. I love that, like, when I walk my dogs around here, everybody waves. Like, I don't know. I just like that. I like the friendliness of the places we go, I guess. I just don't like the city.
Well, when we were at the hotel, after we left the city, we were at the hotel. There was a nice grass area there, and it was
Yes.
nicer when we got away from like LA. But in the heart of LA, yeah, it's all concrete and cement, like any other big city, I guess.
Yeah, and dirty, so dirty.
Yeah, we have lots of gum.
Yeah,
Lots of gum on the ground. I've noticed that for years and years and years. And for a while, I thought they were going to have a gum ban. I heard for a while that they were going to ban gum. Because I know there's some place or there's countries or something that you can't have gum.
I believe it, because people don't know how to take care of it.
Right. I know. And so there's just so much gum on the ground. I try so hard not to throw mine out, like, at all. Like, I'll try to, like, keep it.
Right.
And just, like, get rid of it later. And
that's why you keep the wrapper. You keep the wrapper, you put it back in the wrapper.
No, I didn't have it. I had, like, those little buckets of gum.
Oh,
the
right.
little car gum, which all melts.
So then you get a
together.
Secondary bucket, and that becomes your ditch bucket.
My ditch bucket. I like that. I've never heard of that. It's a ditch bucket. I would do that.
Yeah.
But
just make sure you get a big magic marker and write on it, "Do not chew."
yeah. I need to have better gum. I did have better gum ideas for the inside of my car, but they all turned into one piece of gum because it gets so hot in my car. I have to go out there and like make sure that like I have the sunroof like not open, but there's like the little vent button that like will vent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it'll like crack your windows and stuff out here. We get advisories for that all the time of like make sure your windows are down a crack, otherwise like the heat will make your
that's so
make
crazy.
your glass crack. I know, right? Yeah, so I don't expect like if we were to change lives for a week, I don't expect that you would like leave the house too much.
I would want to do it in the wintertime. Like, because then it wouldn't be so hot. Like, if that was going to happen, it would have to be in the wintertime.
Yeah, because it will get cold out here.
Right.
Sometimes, well, most of it it'll warm up during the day, but it will get cold out here. But it won't get like your type of cold.
Right.
Like, one of the most beautiful things about the very first time I went to your house a bunch of years ago was the fact that all the drinks stayed cold.
Yeah.
They were just in the garage there, and anytime I would grab a drink, it would just still be in the 12 packs, and you would just grab one out and it would be cold.
Yep.
And we could kind of do that here. Like I could kind of do that in the evening time, but like noon the next day it's going to be warm again.
Right. It's not like it stays that way. No, we call it the garage fridge. There's really not a fridge in the garage. I mean, now there is, but in the wintertime we won't use it. In the wintertime you just set it on the floor in the garage up in the corner and it gets cold.
Yeah. So I think that it would not be the happiest if we wife swapped. If I went out there and you went out here.
Yeah, no.
I'd be okay. No. I'd be okay out there a little bit. I've never really driven out there when I've been out there because I've always been with you. But I could definitely navigate my way to like the mire and then to the water. That's the only two.
Right.
And to the deli. Those are the only three places that I really care about: the water, the deli, and the mire. So I can make it to all three of those places. So I think I would be okay out there for a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'd survive.
Yeah, you would definitely get tired of like all the construction and all the stuff that's been going on outside of my house since Gasmageddon, when we had the big gas leak. Even yesterday I sent you that picture. I'm like, I think our power is going to go out because they were working all night. And they're still out there. I don't know what they're doing out there, but they're working on something across the street from me here.
Yeah, that's no thank you.
You go crazy.
Thank you.
The last 2 weeks of just asphalt smell as they repave the road.
And the traffic. I don't like that either.
Oh, right. It's weird because I'm kind of used to the traffic. It wasn't until I went out to your place where I was like, whoa, like you don't live in traffic every day.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. So, our town really got cluttered up when like our town's on a grid. So there's A, B, C, D, E, and then there's like 5, 10, 15, 20. Like, so it's a grid. And every mile there was a signal. So that's how you knew you were at the mile. But now every half a mile there's a signal.
Right.
So it's just getting more and more, full of people.
Stop and go.
Lots of stop and goes. Yeah. And lots of slowing down traffic by taking out lanes and replacing them with bike lanes. They did that again in front of our house. It's 55 right outside my door. It's 55 out, and there's so many accidents. I mean, since I'm here all day long, there's 1.5 accidents a week here where you hear pop, and then you peek out the window, and then you're like, oh, that one doesn't look too bad. The night before last, I was sitting at my desk, and you can tell the difference between slamming on your brakes and a car accident, because there's not much skidding before popping. And, you know,
Right.
I used to run out there to all of them, and then it got too much. Like, it got too much for me. Like, I can't go out there and be the hero. You don't want me showing up being the hero anyway. So I just couldn't do it anymore. So I'll look at the window a little bit out of curiosity, just to make sure, like, okay, like, nobody's, like, spilled out on the ground, and, you know.
Right.
And usually not. So we get a lot of accidents out here. So you would have to deal with that living here.
Yeah, that's, I don't have any desire for that.
Yeah, you've never had
experience.
cars shake your house before just from driving by or impact or anything. So, yeah, so that's...
No, I think the craziest thing we have is the other day we were walking the dogs, and the guys came by with their trailer with the cow in it. Through our neighborhood.
In the cow mood?
Yeah.
Like, brr.
No, but there was a cow in the trailer, and they drove right by us while we were walking, and I was laughing because the dogs were going crazy. They're like, whoa, what is that smell?
Oh, right, huh? Because they probably haven't been around that.
Yeah. Well, whenever we go, like, jeeping and stuff, Memphis loves cows. So, like, whenever they're up by the road, we'll stop so that she can see the cows, because she loves cows. I don't know what she would do if she ever got face-to-face with one, but she always looks like she just wants to go play with them.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's the reaction she gives when there's cows is just, it's great.
That's interesting. I kind of want to see that.
Oh, it's great. I have it in a couple of vlogs. Actually, a vlog just a couple of weeks ago, I have a clip of them when we saw the donkey, when the Huskies saw the donkey. There's a clip of Memphis reacting to the cows. The cows and the baby cows and the baby donkey.
I could just vision her just running around with the cows all super happy.
Oh, I know. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. So, real quick, speaking of the dogs, you have that big, huge beanbag by your window. Is this still there?
It's still there.
Is it going to live there?
I think it has to.
The dogs love it so much.
Oh my gosh. Kira last night was napping in it with her head on the windowsill. And she had she would open her eyes and she would look outside and then she'd close her eyes and then she'd open her eyes and look outside. And I said that to Jamie again. I'm like, we can't move that. Like, she thinks it's the greatest thing in the world. She doesn't even sit in the office with me anymore. She goes out there and lays in the beanbag chair because she can see outside.
She loves it. Well, when I was out there, we were using that back bedroom. And
yeah.
And that beanbag was there. Because we had to drag it through the house to get it. Oh, I wish we would have vlogged that. Oh my gosh. We had to drag that beanbag from the basement up the stairs into that back bedroom. And it smacked into everything. And there was four of us trying to do it. But it was trying
it weighs like 60 pounds.
Yes, and it's awkward. It's like dead weight. Or it's just it's just like putty. It just smushes everywhere. And you can squeeze it to the side. We were trying to make it small like a sandwich. And it just pushes out another area. So, and I know we talked about that before, but so we had to put it in the back bedroom to deafen the sound because it was hollow in there. And as soon as it was in there, they were just all about it.
Oh yeah, they love it. They love it when it's in the basement. They, anytime we've ever put it anywhere, they love it. But this time, it has stayed in the living room, and we're kind of debating on whether or not it should just stay there. I told Jamie the other day, I'm like, nobody comes to our house, and even when they do, we're not hanging out in here. So who cares if it's in the middle of the living room? It's our house.
Yeah. So I think I vote it stays there for now. You can just see how happy they are. Okay, anyway, my point was, so we got it in that back bedroom, and they were all about it the whole rest of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I have pictures of you guys snuggling on it and hanging on it and stuff like that. And so, I vote with probably everybody else that you should keep it there for a while because, boy, do they love it. Do you find them just laying on there staring out the window?
Yeah. It's their new favorite place.
Oh, yay. That's good.
So, they do. They really enjoy it.
How's it been hanging out with Indy?
She's a little crazy.
She's so big. I watched your vlog yesterday. She's so big.
She got big fast. Like she's I think she's, what did my mom say? I think she's 28 pounds already. Wow. She'll probably be a little bit taller than Kira, but probably more Memphis thick. Like, she'll probably be around 55 to 60 pounds full grown.
Wow.
Yeah, so she'll be a big dog.
Dude, yeah.
But she's been really good. She's definitely given Kira the confidence to jump in the pool on her own.
That's right. You were telling me about that the other day.
Yeah, Kira does really well when Indy's here jumping in the pool. She still wants me, like, it's so funny because she'll stand up on the deck and then she'll look at me, Kira will, like, Is this okay? Is this okay? So I have to walk up on the deck and stand behind her. And I kind of encourage her just by going, it's all right, go ahead, jump. And I don't have to touch her. I don't have to push her. I don't have to do anything. And she jumps in on her own. But she wants me to be behind her. But then she does what Shelby used to do in the pool, and she'll swim these circle laps around the pool. Circle, 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 and then she gets out.
Well, what about Memphis? Does Memphis like the pool?
Memphis likes the pool if you put her in it and you stay in it with her. But she does not want to get in it by herself, and she does not want to jump in it. Like, she has no interest. And if you try to, like, convince her that jumping in it is okay, because even with Kira, like, the first few times we got her to jump in it, we didn't, like, push her in or throw her in, because I don't want to scare them, but, like, I would get behind her and make it so she couldn't back up off the steps. So her option was jump in the pool or fall in the pool. And after a few times of doing that, she realized, oh, I can jump into the water. And that's what she would do. So, and then now it's become this thing. I can do this. With Memphis, no, she does not. She will fight you tooth and nail to make it so she doesn't have to jump in. But if you put her life jacket on her and you lower her into the pool, she will stay in the pool with you. She just doesn't want to do it on her own.
When you guys go to the lakes and stuff like that, where the water is like, on ground level towards a little bit deeper, will they like run and play in it like a Labrador?
Memphis will. Memphis likes the lake more than she likes the pool. But I think it's because she can't walk into the pool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's instant deep.
It's instant deep, yeah. And I think that's what it is with Memphis. She doesn't like that. She's used to swimming in a lake, where Kira is still a puppy. So that's why we're trying to up her confidence for jumping into the pool. Like, we go out there with treats and we try to encourage it, and she gets rewarded. So, and she's younger, so she's going to catch on faster, where Memphis is 7 years old and she's pretty set in her ways. Like, I'm not jumping in the pool for anybody.
Right. And it smells like chlorine. Maybe they listened to the podcast last week.
They may have.
Why it smells like chlorine. Although somebody did come and make a little bit more sense of it, because all I did now was like go back through all the times after we had that discussion about how the chlorine only smells like chlorine because of pee. Right. And I was just like judging everybody throughout my whole life whoever had a pool. I was like, wow, everybody is just a pool peer. But then somebody had a pretty good point where sweat and dry skin and all that other stuff also can kind of make it smell like that. So I'm like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense now. So I calmed down a little bit before, but other than that, like if you own a pool, you're a pool peer. So I was like, wow, there is more of me than just me.
Apparently.
But maybe she doesn't like the smell too. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
If you were to get a pool, would it be chlorine or would it be salt water?
Salt water.
It was just so weird being in that pool at VidCon.
Yeah,
only
I like
for the first day. Only the first day.
I like the saltwater pools better because it's not chemical. The chlorine is such a chemical, and like the chlorine, it'll fade your bathing suits and stuff like that, and it's just not really good for you to spend a lot of time in a chlorine pool. So like if we had a pool, it would definitely be saltwater.
Right. Yeah.
And it's cheaper.
Oh, I bet. I bet because you don't have to buy all that stuff for it.
Yeah.
You just have to get used to it. But we got used to it by the end of the 5 days. I was used to it.
Oh yeah.
But I lived in that pool. I was in that pool like every night.
Yeah. Yeah, you were.
Yes. Next time I come to your house, I'm just gonna jump right in, and all the hair dye is just gonna like leave this big ol' orange ring.
Right.
Oh my gosh. All right, Jess, let's wrap this up. You have anything else to say before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
All right. Good show.
We'll be live tonight.
Yes, we'll be live in just a few hours. Because it says Wednesday when we're recording this. So yeah.
Yes,
we'll be live tonight if you listen to this before tonight's up, or whatever you call that, before tonight happens. But yeah, we will be live at 5 o'clock on youtube.com/ccmousepodcast.
No, not 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, isn't it?
6 o'clock, you're right. Is it 6 o'clock?
Yeah. Yeah, we back it up to 9 because it's summer.
Ah, yes, you're right.
9 my time, so it's 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern.
One of these days I'll nail it. Every week it's something different with me. So, all right, let's wrap it up, guys. All right, okay. That'll do it for this week. That'll do it for this week's episode of No laughing. I'm supposed to nail this. Oh my gosh, one of these days I'll get it right on the first try. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Interact with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon at CC Mouse Podcast. Rip our merch at ccmousepodcast.shop, and we'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Yay, we did a thing.
Yes, woohoo.